At the end of 2022, I started building this luxury cabin in the woods in the Catskills Mountains north of New York City. We built all through 2023 through several delays, like we ordered the wrong windows and had to wait 6 weeks for replacements. We had to bring in 30 extra truckloads of soil to build up this section, costing $10,000. I put my hot tub in the wrong place. Originally it was here, and the town forced me to take it out at great expense and build an extra patio to the side of the house for it. But in January 2024, we finally got the certificate of occupancy and the house was ready. I spent a lot of effort furnishing it with interesting things I bought off of people on the internet, like these antique skis, snowshoes. I got this fake bearskin, this foosball table, fake plants, memory foam mattresses, more fake plants, and finally, toward the end of January 2024, I uploaded my listing to Airbnb, hit publish, and just waited. After a couple of days, I got a booking, and my first guest checked in on January 26th, 2024. They actually liked the house so much that they extended their stay by an extra night. People really liked being at the house with snow on the ground, using the outdoor and indoor fireplaces to really create that cozy cabin atmosphere. After about a month, the little extra patio was ready and we could put the hot tub in position, and we were then able to raise our prices a bit, and the bookings came flooding in. Now in this video, I want to break down my revenue and expenses for the whole of 2024 and show you whether this venture is actually profitable or not. This is how much money I made in my first year on Airbnb. Now, I really designed this cabin to be optimized to make money. A while back, I read an article called The 5 Things You Can Charge More For on Airbnb. And they are a wood-burning stove, we have that, check. Hot tub, check. Washer and dryer in unit, check. King-size bed, check. Sauna, okay, I don't have that one, but I do have 4 out of the 5, and they do really drive bookings. So let's look at my profit and loss statement for 2024. And bear in mind, it's only 11 months out of the year because I started renting the house at the end of January. I only had 2 nights in January, and the rest was from February onwards. So it's actually only 11 months. I did consider adding in January of 2025 so that you get a full 12 months. I decided not to do that, but right at the end of the video, I will add that in and show you how much money I made in a full 12-month period. So for the whole year, I brought in $60,126. That was mostly from Airbnb. I did have 3 bookings on Vrbo. But that $60,000 is revenue. It's not all profit. So let's go through the expenses now, and we'll tell you how much was profit and how much was expenses. So the biggest expense we had in 2024 was mortgage interest, and I paid $13,445.30. Luckily, I'm at 4.6% because that would be a lot higher at today's rates of 6 or 7% or so. My monthly payment on the loan on this house is $1,529.57, and that is just principal and interest, okay? We don't have property taxes or insurance included in that. Here's a breakdown of the most recent month, and you can see that $1,110 goes to interest and $418 goes to principal. In other words, this house is a forced savings account for $418 per month, and that gets higher each month as we pay down the principal. We pay less interest, so the amount of principal you pay each month gets more, and then obviously once it's in the house, it appreciates in value as well. Now, what was my second biggest expense after mortgage interest? Well, that was actually cleaning. I paid $4,709.20. And that was actually only about half of what it should be because I cleaned it myself for the first 5 months or so. I did that because I wanted to understand how easy or difficult it was and all the things that can get dirty. And now if any cleaner tries to tell me that they can't finish in 3 hours, I can call them out on their BS because I know exactly how long it should take. But anyway, now I have cleaners. I would probably never go back to cleaning it myself. It's a waste of my time. I could probably do other things to make more money in that 3-hour time frame. And in case you're wondering how much each cleaning costs, I pay them $100. All right, let's now move on to our next expense. All right, so my next expense was property taxes. And for property taxes, I paid $2,645. It should have been a lot more, but because the house was completed in January of 2024, we actually got the certificate of occupancy after the tax bill had already been sent out, so we only paid the taxes on the land, which was just a few hundred. We did have to pay the school taxes in September, but they let you pay it in 2 or 3 installments. I paid the first installment and then forgot about it, so I actually ended up having it added to my January tax bill. So actually in 2024, I paid way less taxes than I should have done. But in case you're wondering how much the taxes are on this property now, the school taxes are about $5,000 and the property taxes are about $4,000. So together you're looking at about $9,000 per year. All right, now let's go through some of the costs of actually running the property as an Airbnb. Insurance was $3,296. I have a special insurance for short-term rentals, which is made a bit more expensive by the fact that we have the wood-burning stove and the hot tub. Utilities were $3,571, and that is the electricity bill and the cost of propane that we use to heat the house and for cooking added together. We don't have a water bill because we have our own well here. Internet, which includes the phone line, which we have because there's no signal on this lot, was $2,771. I was actually overpaying a little bit because I was also paying for a backup hotspot just in case the internet went down, and I was also paying for cable, which I never used. The backup hotspot was $64 per month, so $768 for the year, but it's now canceled, and I also canceled cable as well, so I'm guessing the internet for the year is going to be probably something like $1,500 or so. Booking software, I use Guesty for hosts, was $582.38. Now I was using it because I was trying to sell on multiple platforms, but I found Airbnb to be the best, so I've actually canceled Vrbo now, so I'm just on Airbnb, so I may look into doing all the things that I do on that software just through Airbnb, things like automating the codes on the locks and stuff, sending out automated messages. I'm not sure if it can be done as well as it can be done through Guesty, so I'll have to look into that. Maybe I'll cancel it, maybe I won't. And lastly, we have hot tub supplies, which were $1,104. And that's basically all the chemicals you need to maintain it. So now you know, if you are thinking of adding a hot tub to your home or rental, in addition to the initial cost, okay, buying it and installing it, it's about $1,000 a year to maintain. And if we add that all together, it takes us to $32,123 in expenses. Now, there are a few more little things I could add in, like last year I didn't actually claim any of my cleaning supplies just because I lost the receipts, but I probably spent about $100 a month on cleaning supplies. So if we add that in, we'll call it $1,200 for the year since it was about $100 a month. That takes us to $33,323. Now, knowing that our revenue is a little over $60,000, we are looking at $26,803 in profit, or a 44.6% profit margin for 2024. And if you want the ROI figure, I spent about $100,000 of my own money on this property. The rest was financed. So the ROI is 26.8%, which is actually awesome if you think the S&P 500 gets you on average 8% a year. If you put it in bonds, you'll get like 5% a year. So with this, it's 26.8% a year, and you'll make all your money back. You'll get your whole $100,000 back within 4 years. Now, obviously for 2025, my cleaning costs will double. They'll be about $10,000, and my property taxes will go up by about $6,000 or so. So you're looking at over $10,000 in extra expenses. However, we have a full 12 months of revenue data. And actually in January of 2025, I did make quite a lot of money that increases the amount of money we made in the 12-month period by quite a lot. In January 2025, I made about $7,500, which takes our revenue for the entire 12-month period to over $67,000. I'm thinking our projected revenue for 2025 will probably be about the same as that 12-month period, maybe slightly higher. So probably around $70,000, which will offset the higher taxes and cleaning fees. Now, lastly, you may be wondering how much tax I paid on those earnings. Well, in property investing, we have something called depreciation, which means you can depreciate or offset your earnings against taxes over a period of 27.5 years. Now, excluding land cost, my property cost was $370,825. Now, if we divide that by 27.5 years, we get $13,484. My CPA actually wrote $13,483 on my tax return. I don't know why, but anyway, it's a $1 difference. That means $13,483 out of my $26,803 in profit is not taxable. So that leaves $13,320 that is taxable. Now, my top tax rate for 2024 was 24%. That is the top tax rate for married filing jointly on incomes up to $102,000. So I saved $2,966 in federal income tax through depreciation, and I paid $2,930 on the portion that was taxable. In other words, $2,930 in federal income taxes on this entire property for the year. And that's just assuming that I apply other things like child tax credit and stuff to other portions of my income at lower levels. And I treat this portion, this rental property, as, an extra portion added on top in my highest tax bracket. So guys, there you have it, my full stats on my first year as an Airbnb host. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I personally think it was pretty good. And if you want to stay at the cabin, it's really cool. It's a cabin in the woods. It's 2 hours north of New York City in the Catskills Mountains, near attractions like Minnewaska State Park, Holiday Mountain for skiing in the winter, and also the New York Resorts World Catskills Casino. And there's a load of restaurants that are really good there too. So if you want to stay here, I will leave a link to it in the comments down below. You get a 10% discount if you're a credit warrior. Just tell me in a message and I'll adjust the price for you. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.